finally, took a little while, but our Panigale V2 is finished in phase 1 form, and we've done the walk around and the cost rundown video, but I have not had yet ridden it. So today's the first ride of this bike after all of the mods that makes this the Motomillion Panigale V2. Well, right off the bat, this aero exhaust, the sound is wow. I mean, I just recently did our first ride on a stock Aprilia 1100 factory that we have, and I was saying how good that bike sounds for a stock bike, but this is obviously not stock, and oh boy, it sings a different tune, but fantastic sounding machine. Just the sense of occasion that you have when you're riding this bike compared to a stock 1100 tune or anything else, like a stock Panigale V2 is miles different, you know, it's mountains apart, let's say it. Yes, you're riding a sport bike, so the seating position is a little compromised for riding on the street, but I mean, you don't ride these things to commute, and if you do, you know the downsides of them, but in terms of knowing that you're riding something special, and how I told you how great this Cordona quick shifter feels now on this bike, because I did take it for a very short ride before, and the quick shifters on the Ducati are not the best from factory. Oh my goodness, this sound is, it just eggs you on. I don't know why right away I came onto the highway, because I want a little more of the sound, and thinking that this is the baby super bike. Oh my goodness. The Rizoma mirrors look great. I want to mention them because some of you guys keep saying that they don't work. They work fantastic. They're not shaking anywhere. When I look down at this handlebar, oh my goodness, I'm not riding a baby super bike. This looks like a race bike made for the road. Look at all those buttons and everything that we have, and these race master cylinders, and the way that these two are perfectly centered on that upper triple, and I could clearly see my dash. And this screen, the tall racewind screen, shields me pretty good. I mean, I'm not fully tucked, but you can tell you're not riding a naked sport bike. And this bike feels so light. Little tunnel run. I don't know how the sound is coming onto your screens from my microphone, but oh my goodness. The quick shifter is very sensitive, guys, so you see when I touch it, it really wants to just cut the throttle. So that's something that you got to be aware of. You got to be aware of where your foot is. But what's funny is that this is not a very fast bike. It's fast enough to get you in trouble, but if you're coming on from the, you know, the super bike world, that third gear pull, I'm just looking down to see if everything's okay with the bike, because you expect a lot more speed out of this. But I mean, all my senses are going off. All the sensors in my body, the hearing, the visuals. This thing looks so good. But I mean, if you guys watch the cost rundown video, we did spend a pretty penny, more than the worth of this bike. So if you haven't seen that video, go take a look. But oh my goodness, this feels so special. If I did not have a Panigale V4 or any other super bike or super naked, I would be so content with this bike, because the only thing it's missing is that sheer insane speed. But don't forget, this is crazy fast enough, and I can clearly see behind me with these mirrors. So wow, I'm mooning around, guys, I'm sorry, but I haven't ridden this thing, and this is my exact impressions. I wish you could see my face. It's just ear to ear grinning. Oh my goodness, I love this thing. just how friendly it is, just how approachable it is. Because if you have a little bit of riding under your belt, this is just, it's a lot of fun without, you could get in trouble, yes, but it's fast enough to get in trouble. But if you just keep it within those limits, wow, wow, wow. It's 91 degrees outside today. It's almost August. I do feel the heat coming from the covers that we removed from the side of the engine. But other than that, since I'm on the highway and moving, it's the heat's not too bad. The damper feels good. The bike is light and nimble. The suspension, I think we could tune it a little better for the road, because I feel like the front is a little too hard for street riding that we do. But wow, amazing. This is really cool, guys. Does the normal Ducati thing of shaking front fairings. The revs up a little. Oh, and these brakes. Now this thing brakes like it should. The style of my calipers and the T-Drive rotors really, look at this bite. Just what you expect, confidence inspiring bite. Is it raining? It looks like it's raining. Yep, it's raining, guys. It's South Florida weather in the summertime. At least we started our first ride. Wow, I love this thing. Oh my goodness. Now the bits of Miami. It's noontime and we got traffic. It's not as bad as LA traffic, but it is traffic. The throttle is nicer with the up map for sure, but it still has that little jerkiness in first gear, but the throttle is much tamer. Ah, the sound. Wow. It's kind of a little warm. It's not too hot. It's saying 219, but I do feel a little bit of heat, and maybe I'm just used to it. So if you're never used to riding a bike that gets warm, you might be complaining. But wow, I'm kind of speechless right now. I'm probably repeating the same things over and over again. Maybe I'm just a Ducati fanboy, as some of you guys tell me, but I do really like the other bikes that we get to ride here at Motomillion. But I don't know, it's a shame that if you guys have not heard the news, they've discontinued the Panigale V2. Is it more expensive than the other bikes? Yes, they are. But there's a good old saying, you get what you pay for. And what you get with a Ducati is you get a whole lot more of excitement. I don't get to ride as often as I would like to, but boy, when I just jumped on this thing, I'm just so happy about this bike. This thing makes me giggle and smile. Totally deserves this Motomillion name, because this thing made my day, or should I say made my month. It would have been cool to have a carbon over here, but no reputable company makes that, so I'm not going to put junk on our bikes. I want to get going. This thing is so much fun. I hope this guy realizes I'm pulling a U-turn. Thank you, buddy. The quick shifter is so changed with this Cordona quick shifter. Even just part throttle riding highway speeds, or just part throttle riding in this traffic, part throttle, downshift, everything works so direct. Let's go through the city maybe. I don't know if you guys are hearing the pops and cracks that this thing makes. But as I was saying, guys, if you want to nitpick, yes, there's a lot of things that you could nitpick. Yes, it's hot. Yes, the stock mirrors don't work. Yes, the brakes were kind of very underwhelming from factory, but we fixed all that. And even if it didn't, you know, maybe the brakes, I would really do the brakes and throw on just a slip-on exhaust. If you're getting a Ducati, I hope you know that, yes, they're a little hotter than usual. other sport bikes, and you're not getting them for your comfort. I think you would buy this thing because you want to put a smile on your face. You work long days and hours, and you deserve to have something special, and you don't want to pay the price of getting onto a Panigale V4 now that the new Panigale V4 is released. I don't know if you guys heard of the pricing. I don't know what you think, but the new Panigale V4 is, it's kind of hard to say it without cringing, the S model is $33,980. By the time you pay your tax, title, and fees, that thing will be $7,000. That's a lot of money for just an S model. So if you don't want to spend that much money, they still have some of these Panigale V2s around. I think this is if you don't want to pay the big price of the big boy, but you still want to have almost as much fun, 9/10 of that fun, this does it. And I think in a setting like this where you're riding in urban environments, this thing is much more approachable. It's much more flickable. It's not, I don't think it's as light, but it feels lighter. Maybe the weight is more down low. And I don't know if you guys heard, this Motomillion Panigale V2 is for sale. If it's still for sale, check the link in the description. There'll be a link to the for sale posting and how you could contact us if you want to purchase this special amazing machine. And let me tell you this, the price is not nearly as what it took to build this. We do have that build rundown video of the cost of the parts and the cost of the bike. It does not include the cost of the labor. Go check it out, and I can assure you that someone is going to get a crazy good deal. And we just sold our Motomillion DFL V4, and I could tell you that the gentleman who bought it, he is more than happy because he paid the price of a stock DFL V4, ended up getting the Motomillion DFL V4 with just 445 miles and all the exquisite parts. It's good to get some cold, cool air when we're rolling. The brakes feel so good though. I mean, that was just it's so unfortunate that they didn't give it. It wouldn't cost Ducati just as much just put stylometric calipers from the factory on this, but I think they did shortchange this bike, and they really wanted to keep the profits a little higher and also probably keep the cost of this bike as low as possible. It suits Miami, right? Miami is so polished, so nice, and we have all these exotic stuff around. You know, you get to seeing a Bugatti Veyron when you're just strolling around these parts of town is not something unsightly. Ferraris and Lamborghinis are by the dozens, so this is probably rarer than a lot of Lamborghinis and Ferraris in Miami. So can we say this is more exotic? Speaking of Lamborghinis, I see a Huracan, a baby blue Huracan right there. The question that pops into my mind is, now that I'm riding around like this, it's not the most comfortable thing, but it's not very uncomfortable either. So I'm just used to riding sport bikes. Let's see if we can egg this guy on. Sounds good. Those V10s. Oh, we stalled it. Okay, it's red light up ahead. Here's a Ferrari. Here's another Lambo. What was I saying to you guys? It is warm. Let's give this guy the thumbs up. If he's looking, it's a very Lamborghini color, right guys? If you're lucky, he'll get on the highway. So I get you guys a little bit of Lamborghini content, because who wouldn't want to hear this thing? He is having fun. He's using his signals when he's changing lanes. So even though he's having fun, he is being safe. He's gone that way. Nice car. I hope the soundtrack of that Italian V10 came through. And I don't know how Italian it is when it's owned by Audi, but so is Ducati, and I'm having fun on this thing. Well, once I get on the highway, we'll do a little bit of soundtrack of this too. We'll say it as a goodbye to this amazing vehicle. We'll make a soundtrack for you. So I'll stop talking, if I may, get through these cars. It's easy, very easy to sum up this bike. Now that we're almost at the end of my ride and we're at the end of this video, well, let's do some bullet points. Crazy fun, incredible entry price to get on a Panigale V2. The excitement is there, the sense of occasion is there. Now that we've covered the brakes, that was very lackluster from the factory. I really think that this is becomes a well-rounded bikes, because I think the brakes were a little underpowered. And it is hot. The quick shifter is miles better with this Cordona, and with everything that's on it right now, it just looks as special as anything else that's came out of the doors of Motomillion. It is, you know, it's two-sided. In terms of getting wind in your face, it's definitely more comfortable in that sense than a naked bike. But in terms of the riding position, yes, the riding position is compromised, so it's not the best riding position for comfortable commuting. But I mean, I did go for a good half an hour to an hour ride and through the city. I mean, if you live in the canyons and stuff, this would be very fun and you wouldn't even complain about the riding position, so it's not too bad. I can't talk about things like fuel consumption and ultimate handling. I'll leave the handling aspect of it to the pros. There's a lot of pro riders who've given their opinions on these bikes, so go watch those videos if you want to see it. But on the street and even on the canyons, I don't think any of our mere mortals, 99% of the buyers and riders of these bikes, cannot push them to their limit. So all these new bikes are very, very capable. It does feel light and nimble though, so in terms of street riding, it definitely feels lighter and nimble than a Panigale V4. and some other bigger bikes that you might consider buying rather than a Panigale V2. I mean, as I mentioned, it's very sad to see this bike go from Ducati's lineup, and I hope that they replace it with a Panigale V2 is just as accessible in terms of pricing. We all know that prices of everything in Ducati's lineup has skyrocketed, and the Panigale V4 is the latest example. So I hope that they keep the V2, if there is going to be a new V2, at an accessible price point. But that's my overall thought, guys. This is such an amazing bike, and you have no idea how much fun it was for me to ride this bike today. It's my first ride with it since we've done all our mods, and I think it lives up to the hype and more. So on that bombshell, guys, if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. Until next time, guys, have a good one.